YouTube is not the career I thought I would go in as an artist, but I am very thankful because it means I get to try weird art supplies. I recently went back home to Tennessee for American Thanksgiving, and while I was at Target, my gosh, do I not miss Target, I found these art supplies called Watercolor Creams. TM. I saw these and I couldn't help but think, I love watercolor, I want to try these, but also, what the heck is creams? These are metallic colors. I didn't see any regular ones. This particular Target didn't have any. Let's take a look at the back of the package. We have instructions. Draw directly onto your porous surface. And it shows here you can draw, you can paint, or you can draw and paint. I'm excited. I've never heard of this brand before, so let's just get into looking at these and swatching and testing because I love a good swatch. So here we have our 12 colors and we have an inspiration guide for our watercolor creams. That's exciting. So exciting, I spiked the audio. Wow, these have a very interesting smell. Like it smells very much like my childhood, if that makes any sense. I suspect that these will be a very thick sort of pastel-y supply. And taking a look at our inspiration and instruction guide, we have a few tips and tools you can use, and they have a list of techniques. So you can smudge it with your finger, draw directly with the cream itself, draw and then paint with water on top of it, extract the supply and then use it to paint with your brush. You've got a paper towel, so I guess you put down the color and then put a paper towel on top to lift some of the color to create texture. Watercolor creams on wet paper, blattering, and then stamp. So it's really cool that they give you some ways to use these. Fun stuff. Well, heck, I was going to say let's go ahead and start swatching, and then I saw that they actually have a color theory and guide on how to mix colors. This is amazing. I think this is really fun and a nice way to help maybe beginner artists in making stuff. That being said, I'm really excited to swatch these, so let's get into it. Okay, let's get to swatching these. I am super excited to just even see how they feel. I mean, this is a very weird and interesting art supplies. Watercolor creams, what's happening? All right, well, there are no names for these colors, so let's name them as we go. Ooh! Sorry, it was just very slippery and like wet and strange. Okay, interesting. So this is going to be pea yellow, obviously. Oh my gosh, okay, maybe don't press down so hard. It's a fruit orange. This is going to be another fruit red. Your ass is grass green. I love a good teal. Teal? I really do like that color though. Oh, now I'm really curious about mixing colors. Can I make a dookie green? We'll have to try. On-brand blue, because, you know, my brand is blue. I'm going to call this one, I'm not going to say I hate purple in this video, purple. I'm going to name this one Kasey Golden. This one is definitely named Poop or Bronze. You tell me. You tried silver, deep space gray, and my teeth are made of pearls, white. So my apologies for the lighting. I am testing out new lighting with my setup, so you can see they're a lot more darker than the reflective light shows. So there are our colors. Now I'm going to play around with adding water to these and seeing how they work. And also maybe I'll do a little bit of mixing and seeing if we can't come up with our own colors and see how they work inside of something like a palette. But we're gonna have fun with it. So let's see what happens if we just get our brush wet and then add it. Okay, so it's not activating quite as quickly as I thought it would. It looks like you might have to maybe work it a little bit, but it's not very pigmented, so that's a little concerning. Yeah, the pigment's not great. Definitely better on the orange than the yellow. This is just a very interesting alternative, I guess, to watercolors. It's just, I've never had such a thick application, I suppose, of the watercolor. We are getting a lot of ghosting also, which is a little unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how it is. I do like that the metallic color is just a little more subtle. It's not like in your face metallic, which is nice. I'm not a huge fan of metallics, so it's not like crazy metallic, but you can definitely see a little shine there. Really loving these cool colors. The green, the teal, and the blue are all very nice. Something to think about as you use a new art supply is the best way to use them and kind of work around the way they are, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't seem like they came off the paper very well, but the pastel, once you added the water, was really nice. So something to keep in mind. Next up, I want to try mixing our own colors in a palette. So I really want to make like a dooky green color, because as you guys know, I love sap green. So I'm just going to get some of this color in here and then add water, I guess, or something. Ooh, I just realized, do you twist this to get more? Ooh, it's like lipstick? Interesting. I feel like I haven't used an art supply like this since I was a kid, so this is kind of fun to sort of revisit something like this. So let's see, I'm just going to mix in our wet brush and see if that breaks down enough. Maybe dip it in water again. Okay, so we're definitely gonna need some more yellow if we want to make that a little more limey. Actually, now I'm curious to see how, ooh, love it. I love a nice, of course this is more of like a lime green, but I love lime green also. Let's add some of the brown and see if we can't get sap green. Yes, looking poopy. Yes, we've got sap or olive green, whatever you want to call it. I just love a nice dooky green color. What can I say? I wonder if we can create our own purpley color by mixing teal instead of blue with the red. Let's see what that does. Maybe added too much red there. We will see. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that's lovely. A nice earthy sort of purpley color. I like that. These are really fun colors, actually. There is one more technique I haven't tried. I haven't directly painted from the cream itself. We're going to take our wet brush and dab it on the tip here. And then color. So I guess that's just one way to applicate. I feel like maybe these companies want to fluff up their product a little bit. So they're like, look at all these different ways you can use them. But like, honestly, it uses the same as if you just put it in the palette. But that's cool. These are really interesting and weird. I've never created, I don't think, an illustration that was entirely metallic or shiny or sparkly, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start brainstorming some ideas to illustrate and use these watercolor creams to create an illustration. So keeping in mind our sort of pastel, not so dark color scheme we have mixed in with the sort of colors I can create, I want to sketch something that will, I guess, accommodate that, like a bust with some flowers or something around it, something a little more less complicated. Staying inside my comfort zone is also something I tend to do when trying a new art supplies, just because I want to focus my energy on trying the art supply and giving it my all and understanding how to use it, and I don't want to mess that up. I don't know why I really want to draw like a fishbowl, maybe some sort of like fish plant or something, like a fishbowl on her hair, on her bun. Maybe this is the new fashion trend. 2020, fishbowl hair. This is actually really cute. Why do I love this so much? I don't know. What should her clothes be? What kind of clothes does someone who has a fishbowl hair wear? Is it fancy? Is it laid back? I just don't know. What would a full fishbowl outfit look like? I mean, let's just design an outfit based on a fishbowl. I'm not trying to get technical. So we've got the fish in her hair. I love that so much. I'm sure this idea has been done. I'm afraid to Google it. But it's just so super cute and I love it so much. Okay, now she needs like a full outfit. Okay, so let's see. Her head's too big, but I mean, that's like all of my art, right? Around her waist is the opening of the fishbowl. And then she's basically, well, let's see. Maybe it could end up here. Like an upside down fishbowl. We have to make sure that the fish have, okay, this is gonna sound really weird. We have to make sure that the fish have access to her crotch so that they can censor her bits. Because let's be honest, I bet she's not wearing any underwear. Well, actually, I guess she's probably wearing like a swimsuit sort of situation. So I could probably put a swimsuit on her. I'm sorry, girl. I didn't mean to embarrass you like that. Let's just make her wear a swimsuit. I mean, why not? Like a little bikini? You know what? What if her slippers also were glass and she had fish in those? Now, I definitely have seen like glass, like platform shoes that have fish in them. I don't know if that's something I want to add though. That also just seems kind of sad. Has anyone done this for like an award thing, I wonder, like a celebrity? Lady Gaga would probably wear dead fish and not a fishbowl. I love her, look at her. Okay, so I definitely want to do this. I think these are actually both really cute ideas, but I really want to do her full body fishbowl outfit because it's just so adorable. Okay, I know moleskins aren't the best at handling. Oh my gosh, this Muji pen is not waterproof. Oh no! Oh no! Well, oh no! Okay, well, I was going to mock up some colors really quick for our illustration, but our Muji pen that I sketched with, not waterproof. Not waterproof at all. Wow, okay, well, I was going to mock up some colors. Guess I'm not. Basically, our color scheme is going to be blue and orange because I love to put blue and orange together. I think orange hair would be really cute, complement the blue of the water, maybe some orange fish in there, we will see. Okay, so I'm going to get to work on this. I'm super excited. This is a very fun outfit. So getting into the illustration using these watercolor creams, which I still can't get over. What? A watercolor cream? You can't just create a new art supplies. Who do you think you are? Brea Reese? Anyways, so starting this illustration, I knew that I was going to pencil it as normal, but after that, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to use fine liners with this illustration or if I wanted to go lineless. Did I want to try to use the watercolors themselves to line the illustration? In the end, I did decide that I was going to be using these just like I do any other watercolors, so it made sense to use fine liners. So after I penciled the illustration, which I was so pleased with the way it looked, I think because I had been away on holiday for Thanksgiving in America for 2 weeks, and although I was drawing and working on comics and doodling, I hadn't worked on a video or an illustration for YouTube in so long that I was excited to get back to work, and I was excited to try these watercolor creams. So I jumped into it, our illustration turned out great, and I lined it with the Sakura Micron pens. I knew I could trust them 100% being waterproof, and I knew the supplies was going to work well with them because I trust them oh so much. They are my favorite waterproof fine liner to use ever, so I highly recommend them if you are using watercolor or anything water-based. They are super great. They don't bleed, they don't fade. I love them. But this video isn't about the fine liners, this video is about the watercolor creams. So let's just zip on past the inking because who cares about that? Let's get to watercoloring. So as I suspected, I mainly used these watercolor creams in the way where you extract, that's the word I'm going to use. I extracted the materials from their pen form. What is even stick? They're a stick. I extracted the pigment or the materials from the sticks onto our palette and mixed the watercolors into that because I just felt like it was the easiest and best way for me to work with them. But I did want to use techniques that they suggested in the box. So as I worked, I would put the creams directly onto the wet paper to get a nice soft spread. I did this for blushes on her ears and her elbows, and also throughout her skin I used the brown to create freckles, I guess. I wanted to make sure that I included a few techniques, so this was a really fun one to use. Aside from that, I basically just used these as regular watercolors, and to be honest, I was actually surprised at how easy they were to work with. I expected them, I mean, you guys know me, I always go into these art supplies really skeptical and scared, but they weren't so bad. I really liked the colors I got. They were easy enough, maybe a little difficult to blend at times if the paint was a little too thick. It was definitely not the easiest to get a gradient, but with that in mind, I just embraced it and used it to create really interesting brush stroke textures. They layered really well. I really enjoyed how nice they layered. They didn't reactivate too easily when I put them on top of each other. And now that I think about it, they also didn't bleed into each other even after they were dry. That's always something you don't want with watercolor, is your colors bleeding into each other despite being fully dry. So it was really easy as a watercolor medium to do things like shading and color layers and transparencies, so I was really happy with that. I went through this illustration as I would any other watercolor illustration of any sort, and I actually had a lot of fun illustrating this piece. For the colors, like I mentioned, I did focus on a blue and orange/yellow complementary palette. I love the character design. I think she's really cute. And I didn't mind that the supplies were metallic. Like I said, I don't normally use metallic colors. I'm not a fan of that sparkle, but these weren't too obnoxious. They just had a little bit of shine to them. So I can definitely appreciate that. Overall, maybe not my medium, but I thought it was really interesting to try something different, and I was surprised to see that they were really easy to work with and kind of fun. Also, the colors, even though I love a good earthy tone, these were so bright and vivid, I was actually pretty surprised by that. Finally, to wrap up this illustration, I used a final technique that they suggested, which was splattering with your brush and using the pigment directly from the cream. So I thought it would add a fun sort of splashy water splatter effect. And that's what I finished off with. There you go. Watercolor creams. And here she is, our metallic fishbowl wearing lady. She is looking very cute, very shiny and metallic. I do apologize again for the lighting. I'm figuring out some new lighting, but at least it kind of makes her look very shiny, huh? That's kind of interesting. So something I did do off camera is, because these paints are a little bit on the thicker side, I had to go back with my pen and redo some line art because it was kind of disappearing under the sparkles. But I didn't go over the areas that were underwater just to help, I guess, push that they are underwater, because it does mute the pen. So that looks really cool and I do like that effect. So there it is, Watercolor Creams. I hope you guys enjoyed this new art supplies. If you have a Target near you, maybe you can try it. And hey, if you have tried these before, let me know in the comments. What do you think of these? All right, with that, thank you so much for watching. Stay golden. And now, let's thank my patrons for their amazing support. You guys are seriously the best. Do you want secret sketches, coloring pages, and goofs? Check out my Patreon by clicking the link in the description. And once again, thank you guys all so much for the support. Bye.